观众好，欢迎收看26分钟见证实录。从2021年6月17日开始，卑诗省无障碍法正式生效。随着政府以及各界都致力改善社会上的无障碍环境，使得如今很多的残障人士生活获得便利的同时，更是积极参与体育运动，并取得了出色的成绩。究竟一些残障运动员在体育生涯当中是如何解决各种挑战、跨越屏障呢？对于无障碍建设方面又有怎样的建议呢？如今有越来越多的残障人士跨越屏障，积极参与体育项目，但最初他们在运动道路上也遇到不少的障碍，不少运动场馆设施并未能配合残障人士的需要，因此有些残障运动员积极参与其中解决问题，成为无障碍倡导者，希望提升残障运动员的发展。
We originally got the government to change the building code so that the building code now has standards for disability access. So anybody that builds a new building has to not only, if they want to put stairs, they have to put a ramp in. And if they're going to have more than one story, they have to put an elevator in. That's all part of the building code. So yeah, it wasn't just me, but there was people who felt the same as I did.
除了生活及运动场所的无障碍问题对残障运动员造成影响，当下对于已经达到一定水准的运动员，在资金上的补助以及支持也不足够，阻碍了他们的发展，也影响想进行体育項目人士的興趣。
呢度咧就要靠自己俾錢，自己去訓練，因為國家我哋個省所有啲嘢唔係好注重乒乓波，同埋佢淨係注重幾樣運動嘅啫，佢哋先會抌錢出去。而我哋嗰啲咁細嗰啲咧，佢哋係唔會抌錢，你就要貼埋錢出嚟去比賽㗎啦。所以我開頭去比賽嗰時，我係用好多錢嘅，因為佢話我哋分定唔夠，冇錢，成日都冇錢，你乜嘢都要自己俾錢。但係當如果嗰個窮人嚟到呢度想去比賽，但佢冇錢，你就冇得去玩。
那麼社區有哪些資源能夠協助殘障運動員以及有意參與運動的殘障人士加入運動行列並提供支持呢？
For us, a para hockey sled is $700 to $800 a sled plus sticks. So you're looking closer to $900 to get into the sport, plus the hockey equipment. So you can roughly $1,000 a person. But we don't expect somebody to pay that to try a sport. So we got obviously do the loan program.
近几年，卑诗省府对残障运动员建立无障碍环境方面做了哪些工作呢？
Nearly $900,000 in direct funding annually, and a variety of grants that are offered through via sport program for disabled sport organizations, and that allows a vast of things to be offered by organizations. Some of the things that I've seen, for instance, are, as I said, the wheelchair sports, which there's basketball, tennis, and wheelchair rugby, among others.
如今已经退休的 Vince Millie 在年轻时因为车祸导致脊髓损伤，腰以下无法活动。他表示，在年轻时他从未想过参与体育运动，直至2000年初退休之后才开始接触冰壶项目，并参与过多次省以及国家比赛，取得了不错的成绩。
We won a gold medal a couple of times at the nationals in Winnipeg. Here in BC, where they had the nationals the same year that they had the Paralympics. So I couldn't even go and watch the Paralympic curling because they put on the Canadian National Wheelchair Championships at the same time in, I guess it was in Kelowna. So while the Paralympics were going on in Vancouver, the National Wheelchair Curling was going on in Kelowna. And that's where we won a gold medal. Yeah.
Vince 曾经在 SCIBC 卑诗脊髓受伤者协会担任近30年的辅导员，去康复中心探望瘫痪的残障人士并提供服务。 Vince 自己的经历以及工作接触，使得他成为一名无障碍倡导者。他表示，相比过去，省内无障碍出行等方面的条件已经有很大的改进。
When I first got injured, none of the buses were accessible. So there was no transit. We had to drive our own cars if we could. But there were some people that couldn't drive, so they had to depend on a specialized service just for disabled. But now, all the buses are accessible, taxis are accessible.That's something else that we fought for. British Columbia was the first province to require some wheelchair-accessible taxis, and now they're in every province.
但 Vince 表示，在他刚刚接触冰壶时，在体育及娱乐设施方面就没有那么方便了。
It was in the early 2000s, about 2003 or 2004, the first curling club I went to was in Marpole in South Vancouver, and it's an old club and it wasn't very accessible, so they had to build a ramp to get in there. They had to make sure that there was a way for us to get onto the ice, but that's where I got interested, and that's where I first played.
成为冰壶运动员之后， Vince 也一直关注残障运动员面临的无障碍问题。在这几年，他与一些同样面对残障的朋友一同解决了不少的问题。
When we moved to Tsawwassen about 8 or 9 years ago, I wanted to, along with some friends, have a wheelchair curling team. So we went to the Tsawwassen Curling Club, and the getting onto the ice was pretty good. But after the game, we couldn't join the others upstairs where they had the lounge to have a soft drink or a beer or whatever. So we thought, well, gee, how come it's not accessible? It's in a community center, and if they made it accessible to get up to the lounge, then it would also be accessible for some of the meeting rooms up there to view the hockey rink. So we were told that the first people we should talk to is the Sports and Recreation Department of the city. So we asked if we could go to one of their meetings. We went to a meeting and we presented our, case to them. We said, "Come on, we need to have the community center and the curling club more accessible." And they said, "We are frankly a little bit embarrassed that it's not. So we will talk to City Council and we'll put it in the plans to make it a priority."
Vince 他们的问题最终得以解决，但是中间所等待的时间却是需要极大的耐心。
Well, a priority for the city is 4 years, because it did take 4 years, but now it's great. It's accessible as this one. They got automatic door openers. They got an elevator. They got universal washrooms. So it's worked out really well. And I live close enough that I don't even have to drive to get there. I can just wheel over.
他参与改变的另外一个无障碍项目是 Orca Bay 体育馆。
Orca Bay, we're building a new stadium. We're only going to put in very few wheelchair accessible seats, and only in one place. And I felt that they needed to put them around and make them available all the time. If somebody wanted to sit up in the cheaper seats, they should be able to buy tickets for that. If they wanted to pay more money and be down at the ice level, they should be able to have that option. So, but that was settled. It didn't go to the human rights. We agreed to make it right without it going through the whole legal process. So that was good.
How long did it take?
That one didn't take as long. I think within a couple years.
Vince 的退休生活看来是非常的繁忙。
That's my retirement.
You have a super busy retirement. You have to be very patient.
Very patient, yes, yeah. But I hope that people who are younger that see that something's not right will also speak up. Because if they don't speak up and it's done wrong, it's not going to change. Yeah.
Vince 举例表示，对于残障运动员而言，如今位于列治文地区的 OVO 体育馆在无障碍方面就做得非常不错， 使得运动员们不仅能够方便到达，运动过程也非常的便利。
Right across the street here, we've got the Olympic Oval, and that was designed to be fully accessible. You know, all the meeting rooms, all the change rooms, they've got a huge elevator where you can put the whole team in to go upstairs and downstairs. So yeah, a lot of the facilities that are being built now are being made very, very accessible.
Vince 一再强调，运动场所的无障碍条件对于残障运动员以及对于运动有兴趣的残障人士是非常重要的。那些希望尝试体育项目的人士，不必因为例如更衣室不方便、洗手间不方便等问题放弃体育运动。Vince 同时也提出了一个新的关注。
For me, it's not so much making it accessible, but keeping it accessible. I keep thinking of places that have got a nice accessible washroom, but then after, let's say it's a restaurant, after it's opened up and the city has inspected it and said, oh yeah, everything's good, then they might change the use of the bathroom and use it as a storage room. You know, there are boxes of toilet paper, buckets and mops, you know, to wipe the floor. And so if someone goes to use it, they can't use it because it's not nice and open. It's got a lot of stuff in there that shouldn't be there.
作为一名冰壶运动员的 Vince， 希望自己一直以来在无障碍倡导工作方面所做的努力，能够为下一代带来积极的影响。
So hopefully, you know, some of the work that people like myself did in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s is paying off now for younger people.
下一节回来，让我们听一听另一位运动员，他对于各方在无障碍方面的工作又有哪些感受？欢迎回到节目时间。另一位曾经代表加拿大出征奥运的运动员，他对无障碍议题上有什么分享的呢？政府在残障运动员无障碍方面又做了哪些工作？社会方面又有哪些资源帮助残障运动员发展体育项目？现年66岁的 Stephanie Chen 陈先清，4岁时因为发烧没有得到及时的治疗，腿脚受到永久损伤。但他以积极乐观的态度，从44岁起接触乒乓球，59岁打进帕奥会并取得第4名，62岁担任泛美残障人士运动会加拿大队旗手，还当选成为首位登上列治文体育名人堂的华裔运动员。最初接触到乒乓球的时候 ，Stephanie 并没有想到他会取得之后的成就。44岁才开始接触乒乓球的他，当時對這項運動非常痴迷。
送完仔仔翻學，我就會去 YMCA 打乒乓波。12點半之後食完晏，3點鐘就會湊仔仔放學，然後到夜晚食完晚飯，我又再去打乒乓波。所以人哋有時講笑，你有冇翻過屋企㗎？你由朝到晚都見到你喺度。咁我話我有啊，但係因為我真係好中意打乒乓波，因為我覺得我自己可以做到，同埋我嘅興趣係中意。喺2006年嗰時，加拿大溫哥華第一次有搞傷殘乒乓波，咁有人叫咗我出去比賽，咁我話我自己未比賽過嘅，咁佢話得㗎啦，你試下啦咁樣樣，咁好幸運地咁啊攞咗冠軍啦，就係同啲男仔一齊鬥得我一個女士，其他客問都係男仔。跟住佢就叫咗我去，佢話你贏咗呢個比賽，你可以出國比賽㗎啦。咁我就去咗拉斯維加斯。但係當我去到拉斯維加斯嗰時，見到好多傷殘朋友，但係佢哋係比我嚴重得多，但係佢哋打得好叻，我就好慚愧，我就覺得我好渣，我比佢哋唔係好嚴重，而係我打得唔叻，所以我就返香港上大陸去揾師傅教我打波。
Stephanie 表示，当时他遇到的阻碍是残障乒乓球比赛一直被视为较小众运动，没有获得足够重视。原本他并未被邀请参与2007巴西泛美赛，最终在他努力争取之下才得到機會，但他卻是面對他人的不信任。
咁個教練就話好啦，我就俾機會你去巴西打一個泛美賽，2007年。咁佢就同我講話，我哋加拿大呢 係冇女仔可以攞個獎牌嘅帆尾賽。如果你贏咗，我就剃光個頭。點知我嗰次係一攞到一個亞軍一個季軍，跟住佢就真係將啲頭髮剃咗。咁佢就歡迎你入我哋國家隊。咁我由2007年就開始，我自己知道如果入咗國家隊，我就有機會就去周圍比賽，係可以代表加拿大去。咁我就自己立下咗一個志願，就用10年時間要打入奧運。
2015年，58歲的 Stephanie 在泛美賽中獲得冠軍，獲得了參與2016年的奧運機會。
奧運咧係我自己嘅夢想嚟嘅 dream come true 啦，因為我夢想係要打入奧運噶嘛。但係咧係全場最老嘅一個，一係我嗰時係59歲，但係我覺得我已經可以入到去打奧運咧，我已經當自己贏咗嘅。但係我就自己同自己講，如果我攞到第4咧，我就當我自己攞咗個金牌㗎啦。因為我對手咧冚唪唥都係30歲樓下嘅，我係59歲。
如今除了自己平日訓練之外，他還1週3天到一間教堂免費教授長者打球。當中一些患有帕金森的長者，他也一直鼓勵他們可以像他一樣參與自己喜愛的運動項目。他說觀察到從自己1997年移民家國之後，本地在基礎設施方面無障礙的工作做得越來越好。但作為殘障運動員，且已代表加拿大參加多次比賽的級別較高運動員，資金補助及資源一直是阻礙其發展的因素之一。
呢度咧就要靠自己俾錢自己去訓練，因為國家我哋個省所有啲嘢唔係好注重乒乓波，同埋佢淨係注重幾樣運動嘅啫，佢哋先會揼錢出去。而我哋嗰啲咁細嗰啲咧，佢哋係唔會揼錢，你就要貼埋錢出嚟去比賽㗎啦。所以我開頭去比賽嗰時候係用好多錢嘅，因為佢話我哋分定唔夠，冇錢，成日都冇錢，你乜嘢都要自己俾錢。但係如果嗰個窮人嚟到呢度想去比賽，但係佢冇錢，你就冇得去玩㗎。係啊，最唔好就係我就覺得佢哋呢度個分定太少啦，唔夠錢。不論你我自己打出咗個名堂，你都係要俾錢。佢成日都話我聽冇錢，你要去比賽你就自己俾錢。係啊，咁我就會覺得佢哋就應該要諗下，唔係游水，唔係曲棍，即係啲冰上嗰啲，佢哋就會抌多啲錢，而係乒乓波佢就抌得太少錢喺度啦。
他表示，如果是參與奧運這類大賽，運動員是能夠獲得一些補助資源，但進入奧運之前是需要許許多多賽事經驗，並取得極好的成績才可以參加。但這些賽事所需經費及聘請教練都由運動員自行解決，這阻礙了一些原本有潛質的運動員體育發展。對於資金補助不足的問題 ，Vince 也有提及。
I agree. I agree. There needs to be more support financially. Yeah, because there's some sports that don't need a lot of money, but there's other sports that need a lot of money to be able to compete. And sometimes the resources are there, but they're hard to find. You have to talk to somebody that knows where the money is, so that you can apply.
对于 Vince 和 Stephanie 提到的这个问题，卑诗省无障碍事务议会秘書 Susie Chan 常翠安就做出这样的回应。
That's new information to me, and I'm not familiar with Stephanie's situation, but I'd certainly be interested in looking more into that, because that is new information to me. I mean, generally, Olympic athletes have sponsors of various kinds. So I know in other sports arenas, the athletes are sponsored and have somebody that helps defer costs. And I am not familiar with how that works within the athletes world. So that's something I would have to learn more about. Thank that question and for bringing that forward. I appreciate that.
卑诗省府方面表示，近10年来，他们对于发展残障人士体育项目非常重视。
We're also trying to, incorporate it so that accessible sports are part of the normal of sports that is available throughout our province. I also was a volunteer at the 2010 Olympics, which is one of the first times that the Paralympics were treated with the same value and importance and financial support as the regular Olympics. And British Columbia and Vancouver got an awful lot of those for the work that they did in 2010 to make the Paralympics really a really good event.
他指出，如今政府在无障碍设施方面对于运动员付出的工作效果显著。残障运动员及非专业残障体育爱好者都认为现实的运动设施已经相当完善，而政府现时希望在交通方面为残障人士提供更好的条件。
I think there's always improvement needed. It doesn't matter which way we look at it. There's always things we can do better. In terms, I mean, one of the big things, transporting around the province. Right, it's very difficult for an athlete, for instance, who wants to go to a ski hill to get to, if they don't drive themselves or don't have a transportation to get there and get their equipment there.
而省府对于社区那些为残障运动人士提供资源的组织协会也非常重视。
Nearly $900,000 in direct funding annually, and a variety of grants that are offered through via sport program for disabled sport organizations, and that allows a vast of things to be offered by organizations. Some of the things I've seen, for instance, are, as I said, the wheelchair sports, which there's basketball, tennis, and wheelchair rugby, among others.
Sportability CP Sports of BC 卑诗残障运动协会是一间非牟利由义工组成的协会，宗旨在于为残障运动爱好者至国际水准的残障运动员打造安全有趣的运动环境。该协会分别提供雪橇曲棍球、硬地滚球以及残障足球，从休闲至竞技级别的培训。协会行政总裁 Ross McDonald 表示，协会帮助不少人达成愿望，帮助他们成为具有国际水准运动员。
So somebody enters a sport, whether an official or an athlete, and they can see the pathway for progression all the way to a international level. So, and we try to work with our national associations in order to have these opportunities. And we've had some people that, fortunately for them and great for us, that they've progressed to a higher level and are representing their country and their province at the same time.
对于刚接触运动项目的爱好者，Ross 就表示，有的项目所需设备、装备等资金非常高。对于想尝试体育项目的残障人士而言，耗资购买运动装备非常不值得。因此，协会推出贷款计划，每年收取100元，约合每月8元，让他们可以进行租借。
For us, a parahockey sled is $700 to $800 a sled plus sticks. So you're looking closer to $900 to get into the sport, plus the hockey equipment. So you can roughly $1,000 a person. And so, but we don't expect somebody to pay that to try a sport. So we got obviously do the loan program.
Ross 也表示，协会非常热衷为残障运动员提供良好的空间及资源，但他们如今面临的最大挑战也是财政方面的支持。虽然省府每年都为他们提供补助金，但他们需要更多稳定的资金投入，才能够维持以及发展。
We need more help, and not to say that we're not getting the help. We do get lots of help, but there's always more needed, especially consistent funding. A lot of our funding is grant-based, and there's no guarantees. But I have to say that we are grateful for the consistent funding that we get from provincial government through Via Sport, through community gaming grants, and other grant opportunities.
好了，这集的节目时间又差不多了。如果观众对于我们的节目有任何意见的话，欢迎以电邮的方式与我们联络。我们的电邮地址是mag26@fairchildtv.com。感谢您的收看，我们下期再会。